we ran about 80 yards across the yard to my dad's shop, who at the time was the fire chief in our town, and said, "The house is on fire. The house is on fire," and Mama's inside.
You left your mother inside.
Yeah, so the living room's here, their bedroom is here. Like, to get out of the house, they have to go through the living room. She's in the shower.
Hey everybody, this is Gary Smith with the Nectar Bridge podcast. Guest today is Sam McMunn. He's a client of mine, and he's also a pastor at First Baptist Church of Athens. His business is Sulphur Creek Cabinets. How are you doing, Sam?
Pretty good today, despite the rain.
All right. We're doing this on Thursday, the 18th, and there's a little bit of rain, but at least it's not freezing cold.
True, very true.
Well, wanted to start by just talking a little bit about the work I'm doing with you at Sulphur Creek, as Nectar Bridge. And let's start by describing what Sulphur Creek does. Obviously your cabinet shop, but what kind of cabinets do you make? Who are your customers, that sort of thing?
Real quick description: we design, build, finish, and install custom cabinets. Face frame cabinets specifically. It's your traditional American cabinetry. Primarily have done a 1/2-inch overlay cabinet for the majority of the time that we've been in business, but currently sort of making that transition into the inset market. It's a little bit higher end look, and
Okay.
So we're exploring that a bit. But yeah, all things cabinets. We turn big squares of wood into little squares of wood, and then we make boxes. Is all we do. We just build boxes.
When you said 1/2-inch overlay versus inset, what's the difference? So next time I'm in somebody's kitchen, I can tell what kind of cabinets they got.
On overlay cabinets, you have a few different variations. We just do a 1/2-inch overlay, which means the door or the drawer front lays over the edge of the face frame by 1/2 inch all the way around. And so they sit on top of the face frame, whereas inset cabinets, the fronts sit inside of the frame.
Right. Okay. Now I got the mental picture. All right. Well, wanted to talk a little bit about the work that you and I have done together, the work that Nectar Bridge has done for Sulphur Creek. I think sometimes when I'm describing what I do, it's a little difficult to describe to prospects because, frankly, part of the problem is it's a little different for every prospect. The work that customers might be asking me to do varies a little bit. The usual description I give of myself is I'm the operations manager that you might want to have if you were a little bit bigger business, but I'm available in convenient, in a convenient amount of time. That's a really Mitch Hedberg way of saying that. Let me try again. I'm available on a fractional basis or part-time basis. I'm not a full-time W-2 employee. So, what are some of the self-serving question? What are some of the ways you feel I've helped you?
Well, I've jokingly called you my counselor, my business counselor. But dude, so much, man. Like, I talk about Gary all the time, and what I'll say about you, I'll call you my ops guy. I'll say he's my ops guy or my operations manager. Any of those types of roles, you would feel well. A lot of back office support in the way of QuickBooks, coding transactions, helping me develop systems to make transactions codable in a more efficient manner, and managing those types of systems. Document management, receipts getting scanned, put into Google Drive folders, things of that nature, handles, insurance audits for me, doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Really, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, and I haven't wanted to say, I really haven't wanted to tell you
wait
this.
until we're in public to say this. Go ahead.
But I'm going to tell you now, anything that I don't want to do, Gary normally is pretty happy to do that. So,
Oh, I really like that because when I was COO of a web development company, that was precisely how I defined my job.
yeah,
Is a COO is there to do everything that the founder of the business doesn't want to do. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, actually.
yeah. I mean, I just, when we were going through the recent struggle with the insurance company, um, you offered to call them and negotiate, and
Mm-hmm.
I was very thankful for that. Because I didn't want to do that, and you offered, and I didn't have to ask. So that was great. And yeah, I mean, you really do a lot of things, and most of the things that you do that I don't want to do, I don't want to do those things because I don't know what I'm doing. And so you just have a knack for a lot of that stuff, business wise. Um, and I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential, but people often will think that you're just a bookkeeper or something like that, and I wouldn't even throw you into that category. I don't want to bring up bookkeeping as a
Well,
topic because that's not what you do, really. So a lot of
yeah,
general consulting is done on our weekly meetings as well. So cash flow reports, trying to systemize that, trying to plan budgets, strategy for the business. We're in sort of a recovery mode right now and trying to get into a place where we're systemized and efficient, whereas prior to we were really disorganized. Cash flow was a big problem, still could be an issue, but just working through a lot of those problems and having somebody to go to.
great. Well, I appreciate those words. And yeah, I mean, one of the things I find talking to business owners is everybody has a cash flow problem to some extent. Like that's just part of owning a small business is that happens from time to time. Um, I'll speak on the bookkeeping piece a little bit. Is it is part of what I do. One of the things that I always tell prospects, and you and I have obviously worked together on this, is a CPA is always part of the mix. And if you need help with the CPA relationship, that's an area that I can help with as well. I've really made it a point to talk to as many CPAs in Huntsville as possible. If you're a CPA and you're hearing this, hey, talk to me because I refer clients to CPAs. I don't do tax returns. That's kind of like the bright line. I'm not going to mess with taxes because I'm not qualified to do that. But the operational side of the bookkeeping is where I think I can help, and I'm happy to help. Well, I wanted to segue really kind of back to you and let me ask another question about the cabinet business. What kind of cabinet jobs are you really looking for? Who is your ideal prospect?
Ideal prospect. Probably. We'll just start with demographics. Established 30 to 50-year olds range. I'm not, I don't get a lot of customers in the 60s, but obviously not opposed to that. But a lot of the younger demographics are more willing and eager to do things like remodels or new construction. We do a fair amount of new construction, but I wouldn't say that is the space that we consistently live in. A lot of the work
Right,
that we're doing right now is remodel work. Um, Bread and butter for us is kitchen cabinets for sure.
right,
It's a full size project. It keeps us busy for a few weeks. It puts a little bit more on our resume. But we're open to a lot of different things. We do a lot of bathroom vanities. We do a lot of bathroom remodel stuff. We do a lot of closet cabinets, custom closets. And we do built-in cabinets, which these bookshelves behind me.
mm-hmm.
If they went all the way to both walls, you would call those built-in cabinets. And so the idea there is just if it looks like it's built into the wall,
Right,
those are built-in cabinets. Laundry room stuff, we do a lot of that. Where my brain sort of really plugs in on the design side
yeah,
is when someone says, "Hey, I've got a problem with storage and I need a solution for that." And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we like to get as custom as we need to on stuff like that, and design the cabinets around what the customer actually needs, and fitting also the desired look that they want, and then couple that with a commercial grade finish, and a pretty tight install as well. So we try to use really high end products for materials, and hardware, things of that nature. And then also we do a warranty on our stuff, 1 year Craftsman warranty as well. So that's a little
Yeah,
bit about what we do.
great. And all those things are important. It's funny. I know. I always think when I hear cabinets, I always think kitchen cabinets. I think my mental picture is always the kitchen, but there are so many places that people might want to have some sort of countertops, cabinets, etc. in the man cave, in the living room. The house I used to live in had a built-in bookcase along in one entire wall of my living room, and I really miss it. So
Yeah.
maybe I need to hire you. Well, let's talk about your work with First Baptist Church.
Yeah, so we'll rewind a little bit and talk about the ministry as a whole
Yeah,
first.
sure.
Felt called into the ministry in 2019. Um, Answered that call. As a matter of fact, I was here as a member at First Baptist Church,
Okay.
and had no ministry resume. Had got no degree for theology or anything like that. But really felt the Holy Spirit saying, "Hey, you need to put in your application to be the youth pastor at First Baptist Church Athens." This was in 2019.
Okay.
And I told God, I basically said that's stupid. Like, I'm not doing that because I'm not qualified. I met zero qualifications based on what they put out for what they were looking for. I met zero. The guy who got the job is actually my pastor now. He's my boss.
Okay. All right.
If that tells you anything. But what that did was it opened a door for me to go to a church across town called Round Island Baptist Church. It was
Mhm.
actually the church that planted First Baptist. So it's a 215-year-old some odd church,
Oh, I
very
see.
healthy from a congregational perspective, very spiritually healthy. The culture there is excellent. I served as the youth pastor there for 6 years. And this summer, God started doing a work there wherein our children's minister took another job and went to Tennessee. Our pastor of 22 years suddenly took another job, felt called to another church as well, and was gone. And at the same exact time as he was making that announcement, I got a phone call from First Baptist about this position, and hoping I felt really good about it, felt led to come to this church. And so we've been here now for about 2.5 months. Oddly enough, the day that I was supposed to start was the due date of our second child. And
Yes.
so the last 10 weeks have been interesting for me, being full time here at the church. We work Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4:30. My shop hours are 6 a.m. to 2:30 Monday through Thursday, and then 6 to 11:30 on Fridays. And so my schedule for each day: get out of the bed between 5 and 5:30, head to the shop, try to get there between 6 6:15, talk about a plan for the day, talk about a plan for the week with the guys, assess progress, address any issues that we've got there, get them on a good pace, and then leave, come to the church. Well, actually, I've been working out. Have I told you about this?
Yeah, you mentioned that you
We're
were working with
day
somebody.
four. Day four. So I head to the gym now at 7. Get a good hour and 15-minute workout in, and then I'm here at the church usually about an hour early. And my day here at the church, a lot of that time spent, reading, studying, working on. I've got a big trip coming up with the students. We're taking 88 people to Pigeon Forge in January, so working on
Okay.
logistics for that, planning events, doing a lot of the same stuff that I do for the business. recording transactions, all that stuff, managing a budget. And then also I have some flexibility here to work on cabinet drawings and things
Okay.
of that nature. And so a lot of my planning happens here at this desk early in the morning, and I'm able to prepare jobs here and take them to the crew the next day. So it's been a really good thing, really good transition for me.
Okay, great. And yeah, you mentioned the new baby y'all welcomed into the world this year, right at the time you're starting this. So I
No
remember that was
pressure.
a yeah, that was a. It's always a sleep deprivation period of time, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me tell you, dude, I've got the most incredible wife because
yes.
man, she crushed it. She's back at work now. This is her first week back at work, but man, she got little guy on a routine.
Yeah.
We put him in his room on night one, and she was up feeding him every 2 hours. I was rarely bothered with that. I was on Cora duty, so we got
Hmm.
a 2-year-old daughter.
Right.
She was extremely easy
Yes.
until about October 5th of this year, when this next one came. And
Hmm.
something happened wherein a switch was flipped and feral mode got turned on. And so she is wild as a buck, but super sweet. And
Yeah.
still, she's in a good routine. We get her in bed. She sleeps good. Little man sleeps good most of the time. And things are good at our house. We got crazy dogs and stuff like that. But overall, I think we're in a really good season right now.
Oh, excellent. That is outstanding. And you'll look back on this and see it as the good old days, even if it doesn't seem that way now.
I agree. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Even if it doesn't always seem that way when you're not getting enough sleep and so forth.
Well, I'll tell you, from a scriptural standpoint, there's a psalm that says, "Teach me to number my days."
Yes.
And I never really asked for that, but God has shown me how to do that. And just trying to be present with my kids, trying to be present with Cora in the moments where you're kind of just like inconvenienced a little bit. You're not comfortable, but maybe they're comfortable.
Hmm.
For instance, every night I try to go in there and we read 3 books to Cora. And then she's got some songs that she likes me to sing. So we'll sing songs, and then she wants to
Okay.
pray. So we'll pray. And this feeling really started early, but when she was younger, Hope was not able to really put her to sleep for some reason. And so I started the bedtime routine early on, rocking her to sleep, singing her to sleep. And it was then that I realized this is not going to last long. And so when I'm
Yeah.
rocking her to sleep, well, those days are over. I don't rock her to sleep anymore.
Yeah.
And so just trying to be present for that. But yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm always telling people, like, the season that we're in right now, these are the good old days. So
Yes.
don't wish it away.
Amen. Yeah. You know the expression, let's see if I can say this without getting misting up, but the expression, one day you'll pick up your kid for the last time and you won't realize it.
Yep.
Well, I have a bit of an injury on my right elbow, so the effectively just means I can't straighten my right arm out as completely as my left. So my younger son, I have two boys. They're both in their mid 20s now, and they're only 14 months apart. So the younger of the two sons, we're at the park one day, and you pick your very small kid up and you put him on your shoulders. And as I was putting him on my shoulders, it's like I can barely get him over my neck. And I just is like, as I put him down, I realized I'm never picking him up again like that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man.
Well, at least you
Well,
knew.
yeah, at least I knew, I guess. It's somewhat of a blessing. Well, to lighten the mood, I told you before we started recording, we're both big fans of the Hayden, Alabama podcast. They have thousands and thousands of listeners and watchers. I have dozens and dozens, but this is your chance this is your audition reel for the Hayden, Alabama podcast. They have lots of Baptist preachers on there, so I think you've got a shot. You got something, or do you want me to lead off with one of my own?
Yeah, lead off with one. It might trigger something in my brain.
Okay,
I've
well, I
got
think it
plenty of
might,
funny stories, but
because we didn't even
which
talk
ones are?
about it, but you were involved in the firefighting business at some point, or were you actually with the fire department, or did you work for Brindley?
Yeah, so both.
Okay,
I was a registered, I was a professional firefighter, basically.
okay, okay,
Certified is the word I'm looking for.
okay.
Um, yeah. So,
So let me
but
tell
I
you my
worked.
fire extinguisher story.
All
The
right.
one time in my life I've gotten to really use a fire extinguisher, and that's when I worked with my parents in their business in Prattville, Alabama. We had a warehouse and office on Highway 31. Everywhere I go, everywhere I live, Highway 31 follows me. So I'm not that far from Highway 31. But this was the one place on Highway 31 in the state where every disabled vehicle stopped and had car trouble in front of our loading dock. And on this particular day, this I became aware of it because this guy walks into our office, or kind of flaps into our office, and he's, can I get some water? And I was like, are you thirsty or what? I mean, what's the situation here? And I finally got out of my car's on fire, and so it's like, we don't need water. We need the fire extinguisher. So I grab the fire extinguisher off the wall, pull the pin, go out there, and sure enough, he's got the hood up on some kind of, we'll call it a car,
Hoopty.
and he's got his head under the hood, pointing at where the flames. Right now, the car is not like well involved. It's just a little fire, like in the carburetor bowl or something like that. So, fortunately, I attended some little mini class on how to use a fire extinguisher. Start from outside, go to the base of the flame. I'm ready. I've got the thing ready. We're cocked and ready. And he's still under the hood, pointing out where the fire is. And I start saying, stand back, stand clear. And it's like, we're not going to get to the next level with this fire because I ain't got that big a fire extinguisher. So finally, I just let the fire and him have it. What I've later learned is, like, man, ABC fire extinguishers are some really nasty chemicals. So I hope I didn't give him lung cancer.
Yeah, pneumonia at the least.
All right.
We got in trouble. So my dad was the fire chief.
Oh, really? Okay.
We can talk about me catching the house on fire multiple times. Literally, we can talk about that. And then I'll share a little quick story about I've got two fire extinguisher stories as well, but
Okay.
I've got more than that actually. But I was a kindergartner. My parents really believed in hard work. Wanted me to be a hard worker. That was one of our values. And so, at an early age, we had responsibilities that we were to perform. We had chore charts wherein we were paid to do things, and it worked out fairly well. I'll say I had to do a lot more than my sister. That's
No,
probably up for debate, but
you should have your sister on sometime. And
proof's in the pudding, hun. And so, anyways, uh, she was back there playing with her Barbie dolls or something. I don't know what she was doing. I was actively vacuuming the living room. We had carpet, but we also had a brick um, floor, brick wall where we had a wood burning stove that we heated the house with. And so, in my diligence, I decided to make sure that area was tidy. It was the winter time, so there was a fire going. There's an ashtray right outside the doors that doesn't have to have coals in it, but apparently it did this day. Because I decided to make sure that was nice and tidy. And while I did that, I vacuumed up in the hose a coal. And it turned the turbo on in the vacuum. It switched gears pretty quick, and RPMs shot up, and I knew something was bad. I knew something bad had happened.
Yeah.
So, what did I do? I was 6. I left. I might not even been 6 years old. I don't remember what year this was. I was definitely in kindergarten though.
I mean,
Left
let
it
me say that your parents had given you a grave responsibility that a lot of people with traditional gender roles would say that your sister should have been doing that anyway.
Yeah, I will. I'll agree with you on that,
Okay,
and just
I'm
like
on your
say
side here, buddy.
my former comment of having to do more than her stands. So anyways, I left it. I left it running and took off running down the hallway,
As one does.
closed the door
Yeah,
behind me, and just ignored the problem, like a
yeah.
lot of people like to do. We like to run away from our problems and ignore them. Well, the smoke alarm starts going off. The next thing you know, my sister comes running down the halls, beating on my door. What's going on? What'd you do?
What'd you do?
What does any kid do? I don't know. I don't know what happened. So there was obviously a large plume of smoke rolling down the hallway. We went outside. We ran about 80 yards across the yard to my dad's shop, who at the time was the fire chief in our town, and said, "The house is on fire. The house is on fire," and Mama's inside.
You
All
left
right.
your mother inside.
Yeah. So the living room's here. Their bedroom is here. Like to get out of the house, they have to go through the living room. She's in the shower. Well, my dad, the way he tells the story is, okay, what's going on? Like, not really worried about this.
Super
Takes
calm.
one step onto the sidewalk and sees the house, black smoke billowing out the back door. What have those kids done? So he goes barreling in the house. He's got to run through the living room to get to his bedroom. And my mom, she was the training officer in the fire department, and so she was the real deal. She was number 3 in charge, and so they were both heavily involved in the fire service. He's beating on the door, saying, "We got to go. We got a house fire," and she's thinking, "Oh, somebody else's
Professionally
house."
speaking, he's got to go to a fire.
Yes, and he wants me to go as well. And she says, "I'm not going. I'm in the shower."
Yeah, y'all be careful.
Woman, our house is on fire. It's our house. And so, um, this was back in the day when if you talked on the phone, this was 1998 probably.
Mm-hmm.
If you talked on the phone, it was inside.
Yeah.
And it was close to where the phone was. I think we might have had a cordless phone at that time, but you couldn't get too far away from the receiver. And so he's in the living room, buried in the couch, calling 911. And he's just telling them, tell them to come to 1101's house. That was his indicator. The chief didn't even have time to give him the address. It's 1101's residence.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget. We had a plan to get out of the house. We go out to the front tree. Everybody meets out at the front tree. Fire department rolls in. They do an interior attack. It was quite traumatic, and that was only the first time I caught the house on fire. But other time it was my mother rushing into action with the fire extinguisher after I left a pot of grease that I intended to use for frying French fries on the stove. Had it on high. Went to play video games. Next thing you know, smoke alarms going off, and I see the flames dancing on the walls, catch the cabinets on fire. My sister, again, not super productive in this instant, is sitting on the stairs screaming, "Ah! Ah!" And I'm like, somebody's got to do something. So, but yeah, fire extinguishers are helpful. And in other circumstances, I had some buddies that their parents were also in the fire department, and we played together a lot. And they came over, and there's always a little brother, there's always I was the little brother in a lot of circles, but in this circle, I was the oldest. And so, I exacted my revenge on this poor soul. We decided that it would be a good idea to go get my dad's fire extinguishers out of the shop and test them. And so the way that we decided to do that was to get out of the swimming pool, soaking wet, and spray the 10-year-old with fire extinguisher. And it's a good thing that we got caught, because we were made aware pretty swiftly that inhaling those chemicals will give you pneumonia almost immediately. And so we got in a fair amount of trouble for spraying the little brother. We hosed him down pretty good. Yeah.
ABC, assume, yeah.
Yeah,
PSA, and I can't remember the chemicals in an ABC extinguisher, but they are nasty. If you have to discharge one, kiss your electronics in the vicinity goodbye. It'll corrode electronics. They do a number on things.
Yeah, it's some dirty work for sure. So, but that kid, he made it. He's actually a professional firefighter now at Athens, and so despite all odds, he made it.
I think for all of you, maybe like early experiences with fire were just like formative, and you're like, I gotta make my living doing this.
Yeah, it's in your blood. Honestly, it really is.
Well, just briefly, I was the younger sibling in a grease fire incident myself. This really shows my age, but like back in the 70s, when you just don't microwave popcorn, you set up this contraption and put it on the stove. And I guess I'll blame my older brother for starting it and not watching it, but I walk back toward the kitchen and I see the flames are like 10 feet tall at least. And I probably did about like your sister. And I think he must have come in and, like put something to like smother it, because we did not burn the house down that day. But man, I don't even think we had smoke detectors. I know we didn't have a fire extinguisher. I mean, why bother with any of that stuff?
That's crazy work, as the kids would say.
Yeah. Well, this has been great, Sam. And I just anything else we haven't covered that you want to talk about?
I think we've hit pretty much everything that we wanted to talk about. I will say, as far as connections are concerned, you did put me on a jam up CPA. And so most of the time, if you've got a recommendation, I go for it. I take it. And I try
call him by name, Jovan, CPA, and he's also a CFP. I gotta get him on here sometime. But
yeah, he is the GOAT. I'm just telling you, the guy's great. And he's a Bama fan and graduate, so that's always good.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, well,
Well, Merry Christmas to you, Sam, and I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Gary.
See ya.